Hi everyone, I hope you are well. It's time for our Wednesday motivation and activity. So today we're going on a rock hunt. And why are we doing a rock hunt? So in Joshua 4 verse 21 it says, "In the future your children will ask you, what do these rocks mean?" And in Joshua's story they're talking about the Israelites that had collected rocks and placed them at the point where God took them across the River Jordan into the Promised Land. And they were to be a reminder of all that God had done for them in the past and all his promises for the future. So we're going to do a little bit of a rock hunt to remind us of all the things that God's already done for us and what he promises for us in the future. So I'm just having a look to remind me about what rocks we're going to collect. So we're going to collect 5 or 6 different rocks, and we're going to collect the roundest rock, the biggest rock, the smallest rock, the plainest rock, a multicolored rock, and the squarest rock. So if you have a garden outside, you can go look in your garden. If you go on a daily walk, you can collect these rocks on your daily walk. They don't have to be massive, just little ones to remind you. And if you don't have that, you can draw the picture of the rock. So you draw your rocks, the 5 or 6 that I've said. And then once you've done that or found them, you're going to say a little prayer. Now, don't worry about if you can't remember the shapes and sizes of the rocks and what prayer goes with what rock. Because at the end of the video, there will be a picture of the rocks that you need to find and the prayer that goes with them. So when you found your roundest rock, you're going to say, "Dear God, we pray for everybody around the world affected by this pandemic. Help those in the world's poorest countries. Protect them through this difficult time." Then when you find your biggest rock, it's not going to be massive. It just needs to be a bigger rock out of the rocks that you've already found. Then you're going to say, "Dear God, we pray for the leaders and the government of our country as they make difficult decisions and work to keep us all safe." Then when you find your little rock, it can be a little tiny stone. "Dear God, we pray for all the children who are not able to go to their schools. Help them to learn and have fun in their homes." Then when you find your plainest rock, you're going to say, "Dear God, we pray for all those who may go unnoticed but who are doing essential work. Our delivery drivers, rubbish collectors, and many more working in our community." Then when you find your multicolored rock, you're going to say, "Thank you for all the colorful rainbows that have appeared in the window. We pray for all those living in our street that they would not feel lonely but would feel connected and loved during this lockdown." And I really hope that after this lockdown, the community still feel tight and feel loved. Because during this time, I feel everyone stepped out and really have taken a stand to build a community and make a strong community so we can all get through this together. Then when you find your most squarest rock, you're going to say, "Dear God, we pray for all those key workers working in our hospitals and shops. Thank you to all those who are working to keep us safe." Now, what do the rocks mean? So just as the Israelites built a pile of rocks to remind them of how God had looked after them, we're also going to do that. So what you're going to do is, once you've collected your rocks and you've prayed, then you're going to take them home, wash your rocks, make them nice and clean, put them out to dry. And once they dry, you can decorate the front of the rock using paint or felt tips. You can leave them in your garden. If you don't have a garden, you can leave it on your windowsill. And on the back of your rocks, you are going to, if something nice happens during lockdown, or you do a fun activity as a family, or your family do something during lockdown that really makes you happy, you're going to choose one of your rocks, any one of those rocks that you've collected, and on the back, you're going to write that what's happened. So it could be that you did a special craft with your family. And on the back of that rock, you're going to write the date, and then you're going to write what activity or what made you happy on that particular day. So on days where you are struggling a bit, because it does happen where sometimes when the weather's not so nice outside, you feel a bit down, And that rock that you've written your nice memory on is going to be a reminder of what God's already done and what he promises for us, and that the happy days, so that you can be reminded that we will get through this. And in Psalms 9 verse 1, it says, I will give thanks to you, Lord, with all my heart. I will tell of all the wonderful deeds. So you're going to collect rocks, the different shapes and sizes. You're going to say your little prayer that goes with the rock, and then you're going to decorate the rock. And then when something nice happens, or you do a fun activity with your family, write it on the back of that rock. And when you're feeling a bit down, pick up your rock and read and remember that nice memory, and it will help you remember God's promise for us. And I hope you have the lovely rest of the week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.